Ayo gang, so you already know what's happening. YNW Melly murder trial. We in the final stage. Today's supposed to be the last day, yo. Bam.
Closing arguments for the YNW Melly murder trial is happening as this video goes public. I'd figure we go to YNW Melly's Reddit and see what people are talking about, even though Reddit isn't the most trustworthy place for information.
That's facts.
Juries are unpredictable, and acting like the defense or the prosecution have a home run case is silly. None of us can predict what a jury will do in this instance. The defense have been questionable, but so is the prosecution. Prosecution had a hostile witness, Felicia Holmes, a lead detective who admitted to threatening witnesses and not pursuing all possible leads. No murder weapon, minimal DNA evidence, no motive, and no timeline of events. Well, they had somewhat of a timeline. I kind of disagree with that, but I personally think Melly did it, but there are so many factors that go into a jury saying not guilty or guilty. We know the defense didn't do great, but everyone acting as if the prosecution have presented a bulletproof case are crazy. He will be found guilty within 2 hours.
This
I
guy.
think there's actually gonna be a little bit longer of deliberation period here.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's gonna take at least a few days, in my opinion, because there's so much evidence and shit to go through. I'll be shocked if it's within hours. The trajectory, all the testimony, the cell phone evidence could get confusing. Shit could get real confusing. I think they're going to request a lot of stuff. Why doesn't the defense just say Melvin did it? That's actually pretty funny. Apparently, both the state and defense want 4 hours each for closing arguments. I'm pretty sure the judge denied that, or I think the judge denied that. I think if I were to guess, they're probably going to get like an hour to 2 hours each. If Melly got out the stage to drive by, was there no blood on the road? He would have been covered in blood. And why would they not check cameras?
Right. Hey, yo, nah, that's a real good point, son. If Melly got out and staged a drive-by, there should have been, because if they did, hold on. If he did 3 shots in the vehicle, bro, because they said like 3 came from in the vehicle and 17 from outside or something like that, right? There should be at least 1 drop of blood outside the vehicle, bro, because he got to get out. You know what I mean? The transference of blood, like, there got to be something, some sort of, was the vehicles all up? Because if you shoot somebody, pow, pow, boom, well, can I say that? I don't even know. But if you blick them down, right? Hopefully YouTube don't send. I don't even make these for kids. But if you blick somebody down, right, in the car, and the window got DNA on it, you feel me? And then you come outside. Well, the DNA must splat. The window must shatter. So something must end up outside, bro. Like if the window shatter, right? Blicky fly through with DNA on it. Something must fall on the ground, right? So I feel like that's a good point. I mean, you could argue that most of the blood wouldn't have seeped out of the vehicle, but like, that's a good point. Who posted that, boy?
To identify Fredo's car and subpoena it to check for blood and Melly's DNA there too. I can't speak on the blood being on the road and stuff, but I do agree on the fact that this was a lazy investigation and maybe the state's downfall, not following up with witness testimony, strong arming witnesses, the moments of non-professionalism. If he wins, it'll be on that technicality, and not to mention they made it so easy for an appeal. He would have been covered in blood, not dripping in blood, not enough for it to be all over the street, but you were right about the car. They def should have did that. I don't think they had enough proof to subpoena Fredo Bang's car. There's no way. I'm only guessing Fredo had no link to the murder, so I guess they didn't really have any basis to check his car. Yeah, exactly.
Facts, yo, but hold on. Why they even bring up Fredo Banks, bro? Like, to what ends was he? Cause he ain't really, they ain't use him to, like, the investigations could have gone so much further down that Fredo Banks lane, bro. Like, alright, so boom, if he came and pick up Melly, you ain't gonna interview him and be like, yo, so what happened? What you see when you went and pick him up? You know what I mean? After you pick him up, where'd you take him? Was he covered in blood? What was his mood? His, disposition? How was he moving? What was the vibe like? Who else was there? And you might want to know that, When you take him home, what you do? You stay with him or you went home? What's the vehicle that you used to pick him up? All right, let's verify that at least. His DNA should be in this vehicle, no? Let's backtrack all the cameras like we did to see where they was moving to see if we see you. You stop at any gas stations. You stop at any little stores. You pass any certain stoplights. What's going on? Nobody checked that Fredo Banks lane. That don't make sense. I still waiting on the day for he to for them to mention him in trial like on day 18th or something. I don't know. But it's crazy. Like nobody
Are
went
we really
that
gonna act
lane.
like
Not
Davis
even the
wasn't paid by
defense.
track to go up there and say that shit? Bro even tried to say that everyone uses each other's phones. We know that's complete cap. In my opinion, you have to be a complete idiot to believe that guy's telling the truth. Bro started off by saying he was high, drunk, sleep before he even started saying he saw Melly and this and that. Basically gave himself out when the prosecutor pressed him about it, and then he would say, well, I really don't remember. It was 5 years ago, but shit, you remember when you got out the car first? Y'all stop him, Melly having the keys, Melly going to the bedroom, Melly's clothes. Why do y'all think Melly took the satchel that Juvie carried out with him? I think he had a gun in his and Juvie had one in his. Then they both used guns to stage a drive-by. Also, I wonder if he had the guns in the woods after.
I was thinking that same thing, gang. I was thinking that same thing. I remember when I saw that video, right? I ain't gonna put it in. You know the video. When they came out the studio and they was going in the car and Melly had on the sack chaser. Anyways, Melly Melly had on the sack and I was like, yo, maybe he got a blicky in that. You feel me? But
Fredo picked him up or what?
nice to
Because I
see
remember
somebody else
Jacoby
think so.
saying Amtrak, Melly, and Borton all went the next day, picked up 2 guns from a wooded area that Bortland pointed out. Juvie probably had a gun in his satchel too. Agreed, there must have been guns in those. Where did Juvies go? Dead people can't move objects. It's very suspicious. Yeah, I pointed that out in a previous video. None of the bags were recovered on video. Like not Melly's satchel, obviously, or Juvie's. That Juvie was carrying like a
Really?
bag outside, and that was never recovered. Was never seen again. What the fuck? That's
That's
so
weird.
sus. If you're a Melly fan, you gotta admit that's so sus.
That is
Why are bags
sus.
disappearing? Tight young guns like Melly get passed around in prison like a ham sandwich. I didn't know what I was
Damn.
reading at first. What am I reading? If Melly didn't do it, what happened? For those of you who genuinely believe Melly didn't do it, what do you think happened? Melly did it, gang, but it's not about the truth in court. It's about what you can prove. And I say this as a big fan.
Why you do that?
If he did do it, he deserves every minute inside the cell. Absolutely depraved and psychotic to be able to execute anyone, let alone a former friend, at point blank range like that while looking them in the eyes. This guy's a menace and society's better off with him behind bars. LOL, Melly killed him and ran out of the car. Then Borland didn't know what to do, so he covered it up. That's such a dumb comment. The only possible way it wasn't Melly is if Melly switched seats with the person in the front passenger seat in the red car, and there had been another person with Borland after the shooting.
What?
Just too unrealistic. Possible drug deal gone
Hey,
wrong.
yo.
I've felt this from the beginning. A lot of people didn't know in Florida if a murder is committed during the duration of a drug deal, everyone involved could face life, even if they didn't pull the trigger. So if this happened, none of them would have to admit this. And this is the likely scenario with him driving out to the middle of nowhere in the Everglades. They could have possibly got set up. The person handing the drugs and could have been in the seat Melly was supposedly sitting in. And maybe things went left. Maybe the person tried to fuck them over and possibly second Juvie tried to fuck someone over. This would explain the residue in the car. It could have been busting back at whoever robbed or was involved with them. So this guy's just saying they drove out to the middle of nowhere for a drug deal. But there's none of that on any of the phones, though, of them contacting anyone for a
True.
drug deal. So that's unlikely. Borland's trial lose-lose. Borland's options will be slim if Melly is acquitted. His defense will have to argue that he only had GSR from being at the gun range or some other BS. Gun range? There's no
What?
gun range involved. His
Nobody
only alibi is the guy
gun
who should have
range.
been sitting
Dog, they was
behind
in the
him. No
studio.
evidence of there being an actual drive-by. The better it looks.
You see, look how people just comment. They just comment. Like human beings have a way of wanting to input in things that got nothing to do with them, bro. Like even this is a form of that. You feel me? To be 100% honest with you, and people be going wrong, bro. And then somebody previously was like, "Oh, he's a menace to society. The world would be better off." Like, damn, son, you don't even know him. When you really think about it, you don't know these people. All you hear is 2, 3 songs from them. You don't know how they really think. You don't know how they really are at home. You don't know if they're a good person in their society, in their smaller niche of society, their community. You know what I mean? You don't know. You don't know. You just seeing a persona. You seeing a facade, bro. You seeing an actor, bro. A rapper is a job. That's a cast, bro. Like people step into that role sometimes and put this image on sometimes. You feel me? And mine's was like, world better off without him. Like, bro, he got a mama. You know what I mean? Like, World better off without you.
For Melly, the worse it looks for Bortland. In all truth, I think both lawyers, Melly, the label, and the fans just sacrifice Bortland in some indirect Illuminati way. All right, dude. I'm getting out of here. Anyone who brings up Illuminati, I am just going to disregard. Why and how would Melly switch cars? Yeah, the switching of the cars makes no sense. I've been in situations where I'm with a group of friends and we're in two different cars. Have we ever pulled over on the side of the road in the middle of nowhere and switched cars? No. Like, that just doesn't happen.
That's true.
Ever. Think about it. If Melly wanted to ride in the other car, why didn't he jump in the other car at the beginning? Why did he ride the other car at first and switch? Secondly, how did he communicate that he wanted to switch? He's in a different car to others. He can't just mention he wants to switch only to his car. He's got to mention to the other car that he wants to get in the other car. There wasn't any text from Melly's phone to indicate that he wanted to switch cars. There's no evidence that anyone's phone
that
in Melly's car
person did their
communicated with the other
research
car to
before
switch
they
Melly.
commented,
No calls or text,
before they
nothing.
said
How did the other
anything.
car know Melly wanted to switch cars and join them? Hit the nail on the head right there. I was really surprised that Adrian Davis said that they pulled over and Melly got in their car, because that made no fucking sense to me. Hate to say it, but that just doesn't make sense. With Melly's pin drop at 4:46 in the morning, his phone being tracked walking a lot too. I know I showed that you can jiggle your phone and it does steps, but let's be honest, that phone was walking around, dude. Felisa Holmes, Melly's girlfriend's mother, said she saw him on FaceTime. So how did she see him on FaceTime if he lost his phone? Someone's lying. Melly is coming home, and it's a tweet of Bryson Paul saying that Melly switched cars, okay? Okay, so if this is true, then who got in the back seat? The forensics show that someone was sitting in the rear driver's seat based on that blowback. Yeah, the blowback blood, too. That shit showed that someone was sitting back there. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone was sitting there. Who was it then? If not Melly, then who?
Yo, bro, hold on now. What if, right? What if, gang? What if it was just Bortland, Juvie, and Sack Chaser, and Bortland pull up somewhere after dropping off Melly and was like, yo, I forgot something in the back. Parked the car, came out, pull up, close the door, and just like, he with his homies. So like, if you hop in real quick and just close the door real quick, it's chilly, it's night. That makes sense. So he come out the front, hop in the back, close the door, and just pull a blicky out. Bang, bang, bang. What if, right? Right? Yo, that, right? I mean, people pulling out, oh, they switch cars. You know what I mean? People pulling out all kind of crazy theories, like, let me get mine in. Just like I was saying. People just want to throw things in. Let me throw mine in.
50-50 on whether or not they convict is basically Davis's word versus Glass, and none of the evidence seems to support his testimony. I feel like it is 50-50 as well. Fuck, there's a lot that points right at Melly, man. Does nobody remember Trayvon Glass? His testimony was that Melly did not come home with them in the same damn car as the guy was in. Yeah, that's another contradiction. Adrian Davis says Melly got in the car, but Trayvon Glass says Melly did not get in the car. Someone's lying. He said the same four people that were in there when they left studio was the actual statement. Either way, dude, today it was saying it was 5 people, not 4. No way he's telling the truth. Evidence don't lie. So which one of these got in the Jeep and killed them then? No way Bortland did this alone while driving. There's a third phone in the car they couldn't get into. Dude. The killer left their phone in the car, be for real. The killer did not leave their phone in their car. This guy basically just said that someone switched seats with Melly, killed 2 people, and left his phone on the floor in the car. You have to be the dumbest fucking person on planet Earth to do that. This is actually a big comment right here. They already said the blood splatter on the back of Bortland's shirt proves he was not the shooter. Blood splatter does not lie. I mean, look at the TV show Dexter. That shit tells a story. Bort, Sack, and Juvie could have been a drug deal gone bad. Dude got in the back seat and tried to rob them and kill Sack and Juvie. I just
wait, hold on, bro. Let me get this right.
That someone
what they saying here?
Or be for real. The killer did not.
No, that's not the guy saying it. This person here. He
said 5 people, not 4. No way he's telling the truth. Evidence don't lie. So which one of these got in the Jeep and killed them then? No way Bortland did this alone while driving. There's a third phone in the car they couldn't get into. Dude. The killer left their phone in the car, be for real. The killer did not leave their phone in their car. This guy basically just said that someone switched seats with Melly, killed 2 people, and left his phone on the floor in the car.
Yeah, nah, that ain't happening. That thing I said with Bortland, that could happen, yo. That could happen. I felt a little whew just now. I was like, damn, son.
You have to be the dumbest Can person on planet Earth to do that? This is actually
Yeah,
a big
like some
comment here. They
random
already said
person
the
come
blood
switch
splatter on
seats
the
and
back of
then,
Borland's
that
shirt
ain't
proves
happening.
he was not the shooter. Blood splatter does not lie. I mean, look at the TV show Dexter. That shit tells a story. Bort, Sack, and Juvie could have been a drug deal gone bad. Dude got
Wait,
in the
what is it?
Baxter. That shit proves he was do that. This is actually a big comment here. They already said the blood splatter on the back of Borland's shirt proves he was not the shooter. Blood splatter
That
does
knocked
not
my
lie. I
whole
mean, look at the
theory
TV
out,
show
bro.
Dexter. That shit
Dang.
tells a story. Bort, Sack, and Juvie could have been a drug deal going bad. Dude got in the back seat and tried to rob them and kill Sack and Juvie. I just think this drug deal thing is just so stupid because that's not on anyone's phones, bro. Messages of a drug deal
And why they
at
need
3
that?
a.m. They bought it earlier in the day, but not at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. when they left the studio. It just makes no sense for them to buy weed at 3 or 4 in the morning
They already
when they were
got
all falling asleep apparently in the studio. Honestly, I think he would be found guilty after hearing all the evidence. However, there will be strong grounds for an appeal based on the following issues. Defense's standing objections. Trayvon Glass was allowed to testify despite having previously watched the trial online. Prosecution mishandled Felicia Holmes and probably tainted the jury. The judge left in evidence that should have been kept out. Text messages, cell tower evidence. Keep in mind that during deliberations, the jury can and will review all evidence and will likely come to the conclusion that the last witness lied. The text sent from that phone don't line up with the guy that switched cars. He still needed a ride from the scene. Oh man. It just doesn't make sense to me, dude. I want to believe he didn't do it, but why does everything point right to Melly? Cameras. What I don't get is that they didn't pull tapes from everywhere. If they were told Melly was hiding in the bushes, and apparently, then why didn't they try and find this on video? It was near the Everglades, in the middle of nowhere. There wasn't even street lights, apparently. There was nothing back there on that
Near
road.
the Everglades.
Pembroke Road, there's nothing there. There's not gonna be cameras in that area, bro. Personally, I think the defense did a good job putting doubt in the jurors' minds, which may help him beat the case or at least avoid the DP. If the jury have an ability to use reason, then I seriously doubt
I
the
really
testimony
think
of
he
one
gonna
person
get
could
off,
override
gang.
all the other
I think he
powerful
gonna get
evidence,
off.
even if it's circumstantial. The jury doesn't need 100% proof to return a guilty verdict. They only need evidence to show that
I
this
think he
is
gonna get off, 'cause,
unreasonable
like,
to
for
believe anything
real,
other than what's
the
being
jury,
alleged happened. Evidence shows it was not a drive-by. Evidence
they ain't know
shows
what's
2
going
victims were
on.
shot from the back seat. Evidence shows Melly was the owner of the cell phone in question, despite claims it wasn't. Evidence shows Melly got in the seat where the murderer sat. Like, holy shit, there was blowback on the seat. The more I read this Reddit, the more I just everything points to Melly, dude. It's a coin flip. We saw it split down the middle of men and women and people of color and white people. That could be an aspect you have to think about as well. Shit's about to get real interesting the next 7 days, so I'll keep covering this. Subscribe right now. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Love you, boys.
I like that. I like that. But for real though, I think, I don't know. What y'all think? Let me know. And we're gonna get straight into another one. And I'm gonna probably put up another video at the side. And I hope y'all join. And thanks for sticking with me. And have a great day, yo.